you guys. Give me a chance to grab and bring everything up. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, a minute or two. I couldn't find one of my stamps and I started like panicking because I had them all in a basket and then it wasn't there and I was like, oh no, what happened to that stamp? But I found it. But now I have to bring up the chat. While you're waiting, if you don't mind clicking the thumbs up, that would be fantastic. I would be very grateful. All right, let's see. I'm almost to where I need to be to grab the live stream. And how's our view look? Pretty good, or let's see. I think I'm going to bring this over and down. Maybe like that. Sorry for the movement. All right. One more check and all right. I think we're good to go now. How's everybody doing? Oh boy. How are you, Lou? Hey, Clem. Hey, John. Thanks for being here, guys. While we wait for everybody else to make it in, and of course, for them to find us and all that good stuff, I'm gonna go over some announcements. Don't forget that through Monday, you can spend, for every 50 that you spend, you're gonna get a coupon. Don't forget about that. Glad you're doing well. Also, don't forget about the new online exclusives. There's some fun stuff, and that stuff pops in and out, in and out. This particular stamp set that I'm using this week is also an online exclusive, and right now it's not available. So, just keep looking for it if it's something that you want. It'll pop back up. Since I've bought it, it's been in and out of the store multiple times. So I'm sure it'll pop back in there and then you guys will be able to grab it if it's something that you want. All right, I think that's it for announcements. I'm just double checking. If you haven't gotten the Blossom Wishes kit, it's very, very cool. Paper Pumpkin next month. You have until the 10th still to sign up for that one. And I don't know, I must have passed that. Let me see. Oh yeah, I did. There it is. Meaningful Flowers. I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those gorgeous kits. And we're going to want that one. And we're going to wish we got more than one. I have a feeling that it's the same lady that did our sunflower kit that we were so stoked over because it looks like the same style. But anyway, let's move on and start our project. Unless anybody has any questions for me before I get started. Does anybody have any questions? That's fantastic, Lou. You've been having a good time. That's the best part of stamping, right? You get to do whatever you want. There's no time limit for your kits or for anything that you buy. You just do them in a good time. And when kits are on sale or Paper Pumpkin is on sale, it's a great time to catch up with things so that you can get ready. That's fabulous, Lou, that you got a head start on Halloween, because let me tell you, I feel like it was just Christmas and here we are in the middle of summer. And time just seems to go so fast nowadays that you can't you can't catch up. If you have joined us and you've popped in, if this is your first time, if you want to say hi, let me know where you're from. I would love that. So this set that we're using this week is not in the annual catalog, but One of the items that we are using is in the annual catalog. I'm going to bring you to that page. It's on page 84. So this stamp set here, Oceanfront, I know it doesn't look like much. It looks like a bunch of gray blobs, but trust me, it's not. I am using it with the Trucking Along. If you guys know me at all, you know I love all beachy things. It's like I can't stop myself from buying them. So of course this month's Paper Pumpkin kit I fell in love with because it's all like summery beach stuff. But we're using Trucking Along, and they gave us some really cool pieces to put into the back of the pickup truck, and I just felt that this Oceanfront set would work really good, but I'm not making a beach card. So wait until you see the cool card. I know you guys saw in the sneak peek, but this is a faux step card, and it has a field, and it is made with Oceanfront, so you don't have to use this only for beach stuff. So we're gonna get started on that, but I wanted to show you that that Oceanfront set is out of our annual catalog. It's on page 84, and of course Stylish Shapes, which is probably one of my very much most used shape dies. This one right here, it's on page 167. We're using that again for this little circle right here, but I use it constantly. Hey Eileen. All right, so don't think that this Oceanfront is just for beaches. All right, let's get started. I'll show you how to make this cool card. So when you prop it up, it looks like this. You can actually open it, and you could put paper in here if you want to write something that you don't want people to see. And if you don't mind them seeing, you can put a piece on the back, and you can do your, put whatever you want here. I chose to just use the sentiment from the Trucking Along that says every day is a fresh start. And so I didn't put anything on the back, but if you had a sentiment that said like Happy Father's Day or something, and then you wanted to put something on the back to a great dad or whatever, you could stamp that on the back section. All right. Do you guys hear the air conditioner? Because we got a new air conditioner in here because my old one that I've had for like over 20 years finally died. And I used to have to shut it off in order to do the live because it was so loud. But this one is kind of quiet. So I hope that you can't hear it. But if you can hear it, let me know, because I would love to know that. And if you're just joining us, please say hi and tell me where you're from. I would love to greet you. If you are a regular or someone who has been before, say hi anyway, and thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our pieces that we need to make the base of our card. Okay, so I'm going to move that over there. And there's two pieces that we need for the base. So one of the pieces is 8.5 by 5.5, a regular card size. And then we have another piece that's 2 7/8 by 5.5. So it's the same 5.5, but it's 2 7/8. And you need two of these, and we're gonna score those. So I'm gonna get my board out. So I have to move this stuff temporarily, but I'll bring it back in after I have my board. Hi Cindy, thanks for joining us. California. All right, so on our 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece, we're gonna score in 3 places. We're gonna score at 3 1/4. We're gonna score at 6 1/2. And we're gonna score at 7 1/2. So 3 1/4, 6 1/2, and 7 1/2. Okay, I'm gonna put that over here on my Stampin' Blends. And on my 2 7/8 by 5.5, the 5.5 is across the top, so the long side. We're just gonna score it in one place at 1 1/2. So those are our two pieces. All right, so as always, we're gonna burnish on our lines. All right. So we have mountain, valley, mountain, okay? Doesn't matter which side you start on because the two outsides are mountain and the one in the middle is the valley. Hey Rita, thanks for joining us. Hey Julianne, thanks for joining us. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it if you did that. That would be fantastic. All right. So this one is like this, like a letter L, I guess. And then this one is like a big V and a little V, okay? So those are those two pieces. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to add our layers together. So we have a few layers. I'm gonna bring this card back in so you guys can see. If you guys just joined us, this is the card we're making. It's a faux step card. I'm gonna move that punch out of the way too. All right, so we have a few pieces that we have. So we have this piece for the back. It's a piece of wild wheat, and it's 3 1/8 by 5 3/8, and it's gonna go on the back here, but we're not gonna do that yet, okay? We have our piece that's on this panel here that has our beautiful Fresh as a Daisy designer series paper. So it's layered on a piece of garden green. So we have 2 of these. And those get layered one on top of the other like this. And those are, the garden green is 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. And the DSP layer is 3 by 5 1/4. So these two we can go ahead and attach together. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat. We'll put some adhesive on the back of our daisy paper. If you guys haven't seen this Fresh as a Daisy paper, it is stunning. It has a lot, actually all of our in colors in it, and it is just the brand new in colors for the new catalog. And it is just a beautiful pack of paper. I've used it quite often, and I can't get enough of the paper. So again, this DSP that we're gluing down is 3 by 5 1/4, and we only want a tiny little border all the way around, which is why our next layer is 3 1/8, just an 1/8 inch larger instead of the 1/4, because I really wanted just a really thin border all the way around. I'm going to use my roller. If you guys don't have a roller, I do have it linked in the description of the video. John, here's something else. Okay, so that is that piece, and that's going to get attached right here on that big panel section, okay? And then on the front panel here, we're also using a piece from the same Fresh as a Daisy. It's the pattern that has the pink background with the daisy, but we're going to use the wild wheat side. And this piece here is 3/4 inch by 5 1/4, and this garden green is 7/8 by 5 3/8. So we're going to glue those two pieces together. Okay, and again, I'm just going to press it down, but then I'm going to use my roller and just make sure it grabs really well and bonds to the paper. And then this piece is going to go on this section right here. So we can glue these two pieces down, not this one yet, okay? So let's go ahead and add this one first. And remember, when it's your turn to make this card, all you have to do is watch the video again, and you can pause as you go. That's what I would do if I were you. It's the best way to do it. And then you can make sure you have everything ready. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and attach our daisies to the back panel there. My glue is almost running out. Have another one on the ready, but every time I think that it's out, it's not out. And you would think that it would do this to me when I am designing when I'm not on camera, but it never does. It always waits until I'm on camera, and then it decides that it needs to be, I need a new one. I moved that out of the way. So I'm gonna just put this down so I can get a nice even pressure with my glue and a nice little border of my pebbled path. I really love this in color pebbled path. It's a great neutral because you can't tell, is it gray, is it brown, and it's really, really pretty. All right, so that's what we have so far. We have our 2 pieces attached. Now this piece here is the part that's going to get the truck on there. And we're not going to do anything with that yet. It's kind of going to sit over here with our wild wheat sections and our assembled bottom base of our card. All right, so I'm going to bring in a scrap paper. You guys know me and my scrap papers. So the panel that's going to get our main piece, this piece here, there's 2 pieces of, just like we had for the DSP. Instead of being DSP, we have a neutral, so we're using basic white. So the garden green layer is 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. And the, I don't know if that's correct. I'm gonna measure that because that just doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right to me. No. Sorry, I was incorrect. I was thinking of the other part. So the garden green for this piece, sorry, is 2 3/4 by 3 7/8, and it's gonna fit on this piece. Okay. And then this is the piece that we're going to stamp. It's 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. So we're going to stamp that piece first. So we're using the Oceanfront stamp set. So these are the stamps that come in that stamp set. And I like to put my stamps back to back on my blocks. To me, it's just much simpler to have them all together, right? So the first piece is this rectangular top section. This is how it goes if you're going to do an oceanfront scene. So this would be your sky, and this would be your water, and that would be like your sand or your sand dune. So we're still going to use this for the sky. So we're going to stamp in Balmy Blue, and it's going to be this piece that looks kind of like a jagged rectangle. Then the next piece we're going to use is the sloped water piece, and that's what we're going to use for our grass on our farm. Hi Lee, welcome. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. You didn't miss much except for some measurements and the announcements. All right, so we're going to start with our Balmy Blue. And again, we're going to take our rectangle piece and we're going to ink that up in Balmy Blue. And it looks not very dark because this is a distinctive stamp. In other words, when you stamp it, you get lights and darks. So whatever color you use is darker, you can see there at the top, and then lighter towards the bottom. There's gradation built in our stamp. What's fantastic about that is that you use one color ink and it looks like you watercolored in many different layers of color. So I'm all for anybody who wants to make me look like an artist. So Stampin' Up! Can do that all day long for me. I'm good with that. All right, so I'm gonna take this stamp, and I'm not gonna stamp it down like this because we don't need a lot of sky. As you can see, we just have a small little bit of sky. So I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna bring this down to the center here, and I'm gonna stamp this just at the top, about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch down is all we're gonna do on this one, okay? So I'm gonna stamp it right there. And there is my sky. Now I'm gonna clean my stamp because I don't wanna get ink on my hand when I start doing my grass. So our grass is gonna be Lemon Lime Twist. So I'm gonna grab my next ink pad. And this one is gonna be Lemon, whew, and I just stuck my finger in it. So if you were wondering why the name of my thing is Inky Hands, now you know. But luckily, it's a lot simpler to clean when we have this chamois right around us. Okay, so now that I have green fingers, let me close this blue ink pad. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this sloping piece, which is normally the ocean or the water, okay, we're gonna meet the straight edge, not the angled edge, along the edge of the sky, okay? So I'm gonna ink up this straight edge. I'm gonna pick it up and then I'll show you like I did with the other. So you can see there's gradation. You can see this section has some lighter patches and it's darker, but all of that is gonna fall right in place for us. So this one's we're gonna line it up against that sky. So what you wanna do is you wanna hover. Gonna move this out of my way before I have my whole hand green. We're gonna bring this down and we're gonna line that up right along the edge of that sky, and I just hover, bringing it slowly down until I bring it right down onto my piece. Okay, and we're gonna press that down in place. So we have our sky, and we're starting to build our little meadow or our grassy hill. We're gonna ink that up again, same color. This time we're turning it, okay? We gotta match that angle with this angle now, okay? So I'm gonna bring it up so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm kind of hovering this, and I want it to overlap, but not a lot, because see, if I overlap by a lot, you see how much green is gonna be dark there in the center. You can kind of see just by looking through these see-through stamps. So you want to bring it down and you just kind of want it to just touch. So you're just going to barely fix it, fit it in there, move it around, mess with it until you're happy with your placement. And there's our grass. Okay, let's clean that one. And I'm going to close this ink pad again before I have another green finger. All right, our next ink pad we're using is Smoky Slate. And that is this piece that is supposed to be our sand dune, okay? We're just going to stamp it straight across like this, okay? So we're going to ink that up. And I'm going to try and show you. It's very, very hard to see because it's a pale gray, but when I put it on the paper, you'll be able to see a little better than under my hand. So you see how that gray is there? So we want it to just meet this end. And there's going to be a little point that's left. I'll show you in a second as soon as I've stamped this piece. Okay, we have a little piece here, so I'm just going to ink that back up. And I'm just going to bring that in right here, and I'm just going to line that up. And we have our ground. Okay. So Smoky Slate, Balmy Blue, and Lemon Lime Twist were the 3 colors that I used. And so instead of an ocean scene, we now have a farm. Which is fun, right? I think so. Okay, I'm going to bring my garden green in. All right. Now we're going to make this farm look like a farm. Okay. We're going to add a little fun to it. I'm going to turn my scrap paper this way now. We're going to add some grass, and we're going to add some taller grass. So this stamp here is this stamp from Oceanfront, okay? And I'm just stamping it in garden green. And kind of where this meets, where that line meets, I'm going to stamp one right there, and where it meets down here, I'm going to stamp another one. That's it for that one. Now, the truck stamp set, the Trucking Along, has a grass stamp also. It has this little kind of, I don't know, scrappy grass. I gotta find it. Here it is. So I'm gonna ink that up. I'm gonna make sure it's the right direction because I flip things around all the time. I don't think it is. So I'm gonna cleat it and flip it over. All right. So now I'm gonna add just some grass pieces. Now, in order to know where to put them, I've already stamped my 2 trees and fussy cut them out so you didn't have to wait on me to do that, but we're going to color them. But I'm just going to place them approximately where they're going to be so that I know where I want my grass. Okay, so I want some grass here and I want it to show. So I'm just going to move those to the side and put that kind of in the middle there. That way when my tree's there and my tree's here, see how that grass shows nicely? My truck's going to be somewhere in here. I'm kind of going to put this close to that grass, a little closer than I did on my original. So I'm going to bring it up here. And then I'm also going to do right along this line here where the road is. Even though you won't see it, you'll see it on either side of the truck. So I'm going to add some grass there. All right, we're doing good. Let's get the rest of our stamping out of the way. Okay, so we have that. We'll color these in a minute. I'm going to set this piece aside with this piece and my blends. I'm going to put it over here on the side here. We're going to grab our stitched circle from our Stylish Shapes. And it is the 3rd smallest. So not this tiny one, not the next one, but the one after that. So 3 in or 4 in from the outside, okay? And we're going to use our Wild Wheat ink because that's the color of our back piece, our front piece, and there's wild wheat in the background of these flowers. So I wanted to tie that wild wheat in, and so I decided to stamp Every Day is a Fresh Start with that stamp there. So I'm just going to stamp that right in the center, or as best I can, in my circle. All right. Next comes, let me think, our truck. But before I put this away, I'm going to grab a little bit with my blending brush. I'm going to kind of get it to be a lot lighter. And we're just going to kind of color in our white just to give it a little bit of tone on tone, but a lighter blend of that wild wheat. All right, so I'm going to put that off to the side, and now we're done with our wild wheat ink and our blending brush. Okay, so now we're going to stamp our truck. And so I have a scrap paper, not a piece of scrap of basic white, and we're going to use our Memento. And we're gonna ink up our truck. I think I missed that fender. There we go. All right. And when we punch this out, we're gonna slide that into the punch. So I'm gonna do the truck as close to this side as possible. And I like to use scraps when I do my pieces. I just want to make sure I'm in camera here for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna stamp. I think I need a little more black. For some reason, it doesn't feel like I have enough. I'm just gonna double check. All right. So we're gonna stamp this to the right. All right, so there's my pickup truck. All right, and I need to grab a scrap piece for my flowers. They are also going in Memento Black. So the outline of the flowers, we're gonna grab that and we're gonna stamp that. Just like that. There's our little pots. I could use this solid stamp that lines up, but I didn't want all my flowers to be the same. So I decided instead of using that image, I was gonna use my Stampin' Blends to color all the flowers and the pots and all that good stuff, okay? So I'm just gonna clean that. I'm gonna clean my truck and then we'll get to some coloring. All right. So let's bring these guys up. We'll bring our trees in. I need to just do the stems of my tree. Now the tree itself was stamped with this tree outline first, and then I filled it in with Mossy Meadow for the tree top. And then it doesn't have anything to color the tree trunk, so you have to color that a different way. And that's why I'm using the light pecan pie. And I'm just gonna color those. All right, that's it for pecan pie. We're gonna do the tires of the truck in light basic black. Hi Meme, thanks for joining us. It's such a cute truck. I have to tell you that this truck reminds me of John, which is why I had to buy it, of course. Because, you know, he's just a pickup truck guy. So, I had to have this set. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's work on the hubcaps. So I'm going to start with light smoky. And then those little lines that the artists give us around the wheel. I'm almost afraid to bring the camera down because what if I drop the camera again? I probably won't. It's probably like a one-time thing, but you know, I don't really want to take any chances. How are you guys doing about seeing? Should I bring it down? Because I really feel like I should, because coloring's important. Oh, what to do. Okay, let's work on our truck. Let's finish our truck. So we're going to use light and dark wild wheat. Okay, so I'm going to pull those out. The whole truck's going to get... I'm going to bring it down, guys. Just bear with me. I'm going to try not to touch the camera, the phone at all. All right, so I'm just going to go around the truck with light wild wheat. And we're gonna do the back. Okay. I love coloring with Stampin' Blends because it's like such a fast way to color. These markers are fantastic. They blend into the paper and it doesn't take near as long as coloring with any other medium. So it's pretty quick. All right, so there's our truck, all in light wild wheat. So now we're gonna add some dark wild wheat, okay? We're gonna go over all of these lines that the artist gave us. And this is what starts causing some really cool shading on this truck. It's really what makes the truck come alive. And it's really fun that we can do this with blends. And if you feel like you can't do what I'm doing, just practice, because just like anything else, the more you do something, the better you get at it. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit underneath there. All right, maybe a little bit farther down here on those fenders. And I'm gonna just add a little bit more there. I just want a little bit more shading on those fenders. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my light again and I'm gonna blend that in so it's not such a stark line. I don't want it to be a stark line. I want it to look like it's shaded in. And when you go back with the lighter color over these dark marks, you start getting shading. And that's what I mean by practicing. The more you do this and the more you color with your blends, the better you're gonna get at shading your whatever you're coloring. And as this dries, it's gonna look even cooler. All right, so let's do light in the middle here of the wheels to match. And I think I forgot to do the bumper in the light smoky slate. So let's do the fender or the bumper on the front and the back. All right. And then we're gonna take light pool party and we're gonna do the window right there and the back window. And it's gonna start getting lighter and lighter as it sits. So we're just gonna let it do that while we color our plants, okay? So I'm gonna use Daffodil, dark, Balmy Blue, dark, Lemon Lime, Twist, dark. So these are 3 darks, okay? And I also want to use Mossy Meadow, but it's the light. And the only thing I'm using the Mossy Meadow for is this pot at the bottom and these teeny tiny leaves on that pot right there, okay? With the Lemon Lime Twist, I'm gonna color this whole little pot here and I'm gonna make it look like it's just a green plant, okay? With the middle pot, I'm gonna do Balmy Blue for the pot, okay? And I'm gonna color this flower all Balmy Blue, okay? And then Daffodil, you guessed it, is for the rest. So this pot will be Daffodil dark. And then we're going to form our plant ourselves all the way around these cute leaves that are sticking out. That's gonna be our daffodil. All right, so I'm gonna fussy cut this out and then I'll show you how to punch the truck. So when you fussy cut, this is actually very simple. It's very simple fussy cutting. You're gonna go around that plant, around this plant, and around this plant, just following your coloring. All right, and then you're gonna come in around this pot. Now I'm gonna angle and angle, okay? That's gonna get glued behind my pickup truck. Now let's do our truck. So we're gonna use the punch for the truck. And so we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna hold it inside here. We're gonna line that up. I'm making sure that I'm good. See how there's a white border all the way around that truck? And then we're just gonna punch that out. All right. Oh, thank you, Lou. Thank you, John. I think I'm going to take these trees, and I didn't do it to my other one, but I think I'm going to use this lemon lime twist. And I think I'm going to add a little brightness on these white pieces that are left when you stamp, because I think it's going to look cool. What do you guys think? Do you like that two-tone? I think I'm going to do that to my other one. I just got the idea. Just like that, because I really love it. My Mossy Meadow ink pad needed re-inking, and as you can see, I re-inked it before I stamped the trees for today's project, but it was stamped originally before it was re-inked for this one, so these trees are a little lighter. But I really like that combo of the two colors. I think they look good together. All right, so let's start putting this little guy together. So what we're gonna do is on this back section of of the pots here, we're going to just add, if I can get it going. I might have to get my new one. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to add just a little bit of wet adhesive, and we're going to put it right here in the back of the pickup truck, and you're going to make those pots look like they're sitting inside the bed of that truck. Okay? Just like that. Make sure they're not crooked, that you can see the handle of that one on the end and all that good stuff, okay? All right, so this is gonna get popped up. So let's put a few, and if you know me, I mean a lot, dimensionals. Oh, not too much, but enough. All right. All right, that's good. I'm gonna control myself. And then we're gonna put some minis on the tree, 3 on each tree, and then I'm gonna cut a piece for the little stem or the trunk. All right, so there's those. Let's cut a little narrow piece here. I've gotta grab, sorry, I have my hands all up in the camera. I gotta try and grab my edge here. All right. So we're going to do 2 little skinny straight pieces, and these are going to be for the trunks of the tree. Okay. All right. So now we can start putting our piece together. We're not going to pull the backs off of these yet, because we want to start putting this together first. So we're going to glue this panel to our garden green. Come on. All right, I can't. I'm going to get a new one. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right, here we go. So we're gonna put our little scene that we stamped onto our garden green background. Isn't this cool how you can use, hey Deidre, the truck is in wild wheat. Thanks for joining us. You can always watch the replay. I don't know, Lou, 1 or 2. I needed 1 last night, but I think somebody unsubscribed because then I went backwards. So I can check for you in a minute, but yeah, I think I need 2 more people to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be at 2,000. All right, so once we put that together, I'm going to go ahead and attach that onto our other layer, okay? Oh, it looks like I have one new subscriber, so I'm at $19.99. So the next person that subscribes will be my 2000th person, Lou. So I'm back at $19.99 again. Which was a great year. It's the year my daughter was born. All right. So we'll add this to this panel here. And now that we have this down, we're going to glue this in place, and then we'll attach all of our pieces to our card. Okay, so let me explain how this part goes. So this piece goes on the back. You're welcome, Deidre. This one goes on the back, but before we glue that down, it's going to be the last piece we glue on. We want to position our truck piece or our panel here on this part, okay? So we want to show a little bit of the wild wheat on this side, and then we want to add some adhesive to this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some adhesive to this bottom section, about that much. We'll do that one first. Okay, and we're going to attach this. Leave some room on the right, and then a little bit of that wild wheat to show, so you have all those pretty colors. And then we're just going to hold that for a minute and get that to set. And the reason I don't want it to shift when I'm gluing the next section, so that's why I'm waiting a minute, just to get the glue to bond, okay? So now this piece gets glued here, okay? So we're going to add on this end the same like we did on the bottom, about a 1/4 inch, a little over a 1/4 of an inch, okay? And we're going to fold this completely flat, and then we're going to bring this over, and it's going to meet that. And if some glue oozes out, that's okay, because this is going to be covered with our wild wheat, okay? So I'm going to use my roller and really get this to grab, okay? Now we're going to attach our wild wheat. When we do that, you're not going to see that seam anymore. That's why this is the last piece. And if you're going to stamp on it, you want to stamp on it before you attach it. I'm not stamping on mine. That's why I'm going ahead and gluing it down. All right, so let's go ahead and grab that. And we're going to cover up that back piece now. And that will leave that little bit of pebbled path all the way around. It's pretty. And again, I'm going to use my roller because I really love how this bonds all of my pieces together. All right, so that's what we have so far. Okay, there's our little faux card. Now we're going to attach all of our pieces. So we're going to start with our little every day is a fresh start. So I'm just going to put, I grabbed the wrong glue. I have two of them on next to my desk now, so I'm grabbing the wrong one. Okay, so I'm going to put this at the bottom of where it says fresh start. Okay, and we'll add that piece on first. Every day is a fresh start. You want to make sure that every day is straight. The rest doesn't matter, okay? And now we're gonna add our trees next. So I'll grab my take your pick tool. And we'll pull the backs. And we'll add our two little trees. So this one's going to go over here near this little grass piece, okay? And then this one's going to be over here. Isn't this such a cute scene? I love this. Thanks, Lee. Yeah, I was at 1.99 for a while. As soon as I hit 1,990, it became 1.99, but it's actually, I just went and looked, and it's at 19. Oh, someone subscribed and I hit 2,000. So whoever that was, thank you so much. It might have been you, Lee. Did you just subscribe just now? If you did, it was you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So exciting, working your way up the ladder little by little. Okay, so now we're gonna put our little truck up here, and you wanna make sure, it looks like my truck is a little bit higher, or my little tree is a little farther down. I think I'm gonna try and lift it up if it's not down too tight. I don't think it is. I hardly pushed it down, so that's good. So we'll lift that up, and we'll bring this up a little bit higher. We'll put that right there. That way our truck has a little more room. That looks better. See, you just have to improvise. All right, so there is our truck going down the road. Super cute. Thank you, Clem. Thank you, Deidre. Yay, Lee, you did it. Thanks for the help. All right, guys, so there is our cute card. This is the back where you could write what you want, or like I said, you could put a sentiment, but just make sure you stamp the sentiment before you glue it down. And that is how to make this really cute faux step card. Does anybody have any questions? Next week when we meet again, it is not going to be July anymore. So if you have not purchased anything from my online store, I'm going to bring you guys back up, and I'm going to try really hard not to drop the phone. I'm not even going to touch the phone. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you, Cindy. So next Monday is the last day to purchase $50 or more. So this week, Sunday and Monday of next week, and then you'll earn your $5 coupons. Don't forget, there's always lots of new stuff. The add-on kits for those of you that are Paper Pumpkin subscribers have hit for the Fun in the Sun. So if you wanted an extra add-on, you can get that. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this cool card with the Trucking Along bundle. I'm going to put that there. And Oceanfront and Stylish Shapes. I'm going to put this one like this so that you guys can see. Actually, I'll put this one here. All right. Actually, you can't see that, so. Indecision. Thank you, Eileen. Thanks for being here, guys. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I hope you have a fantastic night, and I hope to see you here on Thursday, where I have another live 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss that project. It's a super cute project. It's a 3D. So don't miss it, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday. If no more questions, I'll let you go. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!